I'm Stephen Lacey, and this is Legacy Liftoff.
Take us back to the beginning. Where did you grow up, and what was life like for you as a child?
So my dad was a Navy captain, and so that means we moved a lot when I was growing up. So I was born in Monterey, California, and then we went to Detroit, Michigan, and then to New Orleans, and then I went to Northern Virginia, where I stayed most of my childhood. Uh, it was a great upbringing. My parents were taught me to be very honest, hardworking, to treat everyone the same, regardless of what type of people they were, how they worked, where they worked. Um, None of those things matter. Um, my dad lived grew up in a very small coal mining town outside of Pittsburgh. And so therefore he knew what it was like to go to that one room schoolhouse for school, to have an outhouse instead of a bathroom, to have a very humble upbringing. And so he made sure that we understood that no matter where people came from, no matter what they had, what they didn't have, none of that mattered. It mattered who the person was and how you treated them. My mom was from New Zealand, which brought another set of culture, very exciting thing when we would go to New Zealand, often in the back of a cargo plane because that was the only way we could afford it. Um, but it was just fascinating to see a completely different country from around the world, that is a country that again is one of the nicest countries you'd ever go to, not only geographically, but how you see people treat each other. It's amazing over there, ever so friendly, and that's how we try to have our practice here as well.
Can you tell us a little bit about your firm? You kind of already told us how it came to be, but what makes it different from other estate planning firms in Florida?
So, again, what we focus on is the client. And I know that is a term, client-centered firm is kind of thrown around um, quite often, but we really do focus on the client. The way we've set up the office, we set it up to be warm and friendly because we're not litigators. This isn't a war room. This is somewhere where people feel comfortable, where people feel like they can tell me sometimes some really deep, dark secrets that helps guide me on how they should set up their estate plan. And so making people feel comfortable is the first thing. And like I said, no, everything is designed towards making it easy. So we try to leverage technology as much as possible. So for our real estate closings, for instance, we utilize a platform to where people can upload documents on a Sunday or a Saturday when they think about it, where it doesn't have to be Monday, um, in order for them to do the work that they need to help us with closing. Um, we have online forms that people can complete that helps us kind of get through that preliminary process of having a basic understanding of what the clients have, and what are the basic info that we need in order to formulate their estate plan. We also have portals through our system, and so people can access their estate planning documents once they're done after leisure. They don't have to wait to call us when we're open. They have ready access to it. So everything we do is try to make it easy. If they need a Zoom call instead of in person, we have that technology. We've invested in that technology to make it a good, smooth, easy transition for people. Um, and again, we have the people that I surround myself with are people who are very professional, are very warm and friendly, um, who know what their mission is, what part they play in this estate planning process. So it is very important to me that You're greeted by your name when you come in the door. You're greeted by name when you leave. Um, that you meet with the paralegal, so you have that relationship with them, and they are wonderful paralegals because they make you feel warm, they make you feel comfortable, and so everything is designed in order to make it an easy process, a process that is easy to follow so people know where they are in the stages of the estate planning engagement or the probate engagement or the real estate housing engagement, whatever it is. They know sort of what the process is, who plays a part in each of those. Um, we do fixed fees as well for most of our engagements because of the fact, again, that we want people to call us. We want people to ask questions because we need them to feel comfortable. We need them to understand what the documents are, what they do, why do they get those documents. Um, and I know that if we did it on an hourly basis, people wouldn't pick up that phone. People wouldn't have their advisor call with questions if they have them because of the fact that the normal practice for attorneys is every time we pick up that phone call, we set the meter and you're going to get a bill. That's why we do fixed fee. So you can call as many times as you want. You can email us as many times as you want, and you're not going to get an extra fee. If you have to have an additional meeting to review what we discussed, that's not an extra fee. Because again, it's very important to me, it's very important to us as a firm that you understand the documents. I can't tell you how many times I've had it to where, and sometimes they're great documents.
Do you have any examples of some mistakes you've seen people make with their estate planning or by not doing estate planning that have ended up costing their families or their legacy?
So I mean, there's quite a few of those. One is not keeping up to date with your decision makers. Oftentimes we have it to where maybe in the power of attorney, they name the spouse and that's it. They don't name any backups. One spouse passes away or has dementia or Alzheimer's and can't act, and then something happens to that person. So then we may be thrust into a guardianship, which is a court process, two attorneys involved, very expensive to go to and go through, and nobody really wants to go through a guardianship. Um, Also, sometimes we have to petition the courts to have someone appointed to act for the trust or act for the estate because of the fact that there was no backups. Or the person did not keep up with who the possible decision makers could be because of the fact that that person passed away, that person died. So what we often do in our estate plans is we have a plan A, then we have a plan B, we have a plan C, we have a plan D. We try to think of just on everything that can happen, and we have that apply in the estate plan to make sure that even if it's not the ideal situation, we at least have a plan that's much, much better than having no plan. Um, People not titling assets appropriately. They may come in and we do this great trust and to avoid probate, and then the children come in later and say, "Okay, here's the trust. We don't have to go through probate." And then when I look at the title of the assets, they may have opened up a new bank account, maybe they bought some new real estate, and it's in their individual names. Well, then they have to get to probate. And that is frustrating, to the children, to the loved ones, because of the fact that they say, well, I thought the whole purpose of this was to avoid probate. And unfortunately, that's not the case because titling of the assets are so important. So people don't keep up with the titling of the assets. Um, they don't keep up with the assets as they change. Um, And I think a lot of people want to just put their head in their sand and not plan, but that doesn't help anyone because things happen quickly and things change quickly.